Welcome to the American Woodshop. I'm Scott Phillips, and we're lucky to be with one of the world's preeminent wood carvers, Wayne Barton. Wayne, thanks for coming by.
It's my pleasure, Scott.
Beautiful. Now, we're doing chip carving that uses two knives, right here, these two knives, to produce all these various profiles. And Wayne, how tough is this?
Oh, this is really quite easy. Anybody can do this.
Okay, well, you say that, but I'm going to ask you to prove that a little later on.
All right.
Now, look at the top that he's carved. Isn't that beautiful? And this is butternut. Come a long way on this.
Yes, it doesn't take long to do a little bit of carving.
Okay, now with chip carving, I notice you're using two knives.
Yes.
And it's a lever action.
Yes, it is.
And you hold your thumb.
Yeah, you notice that. This is for safety. This is the easiest and safest way there is to carve, because if you carve by pulling your knife into your thumb, you're going to cut it one day. If you hold your thumb against the handle like this, you can never cut yourself. And it's a very, very safe way there is to carve.
Okay. Well, how do you go about this process?
How do you begin? You know, it's very interesting. When people see a chip carving such as this completed, most people are overwhelmed with the complexity of it. But if you break down the design, it becomes very simple, and you'll notice there's only going to be two types of cuts generally that you're going to make. And the cuts are really quite simple to do.
Okay.
Let me give you an example of how that's done here. If I take, here's your two basic cuts. One of them is a three-cornered chip that looks exactly like this.
Look at how he's using that as a lever.
Okay?
See?
That's very simple. And the other one is a two-cornered chip, and it looks like this. And all the carving is based on those two chips. Now, if we take the three-cornered chip, and we can do this real quickly. If I take and do a very simple three-corner chip, you'll see how quickly you can go down the line and make dozens of these. And this is a basic cut.
That's just so simple.
It's that simple. Now, if I come back on the other side and do it over here, we're going to make something very similar to what's already in the carving that we just saw, the completed one. And what we're making here is called the positive diamond. It's that simple.
Right.
And if we take this, you can see here's the positive diamond that's been turned into a flower. Here's your three-cornered chip right here. It's as simple as can be. Now here's a three-cornered chip with the other cut that I showed you. If you remember, here's the two of them combined right here to make a whole border.
Okay.
It's that simple. So when you break down the design, then it's not that complicated, and you work at it, you know, a section at a time, and it's not that difficult.
Right. Well, go ahead and make some more cuts on this using a combination of your knives.
Let me take this as an example, and if I take and make this cut here first.
And you get in a groove. You just make that.
That's right.
Okay.
You get a rhythm on it. And then you have this one here.
This goes very quickly.
Oh, it's the fastest way there is to carve. It's the most decorative way to carve. Simple tools, simple method. The design is relatively simple, and anybody can do this. Now, the other knife has, just give you a brief show of what the other knife does. The stab knife is used in many ways, and one of the things that it does is this. If I wanted to make a wheat type pattern, I could do it just like this.
Wayne, what other types of cuts can you make with your stab knife?
Well, the cut is always the same, but there's a lot of different designs. For instance, if you want to make a star, and we put this in a lot of flowers, we'll do this.
And I notice you don't use a vise. You just work with it right on your lap.
That's right. It's easy to turn this way. You get better leverage working in your lap. If you work on a table or a bench like this, you get the wrong angle in your arm here, and your thrust is the wrong kind of leverage. But working here, it's easy to get nice leverage, and you can turn constantly. And almost everything you're going to work on, you can hold in your lap anyhow.
Okay.
So now if you take your star here, and you want to change the star into a cross, you simply rock your blade down. Or if you want to do a different type of cross, you can do it from the other side like this, and you'll end up with a cross that looks like this. So there's a lot of variation that you can get with just a simple knife. So there's a lot of design that you can do with it. But this does not remove wood. It only cuts the fibers and spreads them at the same time to enhance the work that the stab knife does. And that's it. Just those two.
In traditional chip carving, I've seen as many as 11 different knives.
Oh, there's more.
Right.
You can get more. They're not necessary, and most people don't know what to do with them anyhow. If you're really going to do simple carving, this will do everything that you'll ever want to do in chip carving, just the two knives.
Okay.
And I like to keep it simple that way.
And remember, he used those basic techniques that he just showed us to produce this. And you just took it one step at a time.
Absolutely. And here you can see the three-corner chip in here. You can see the diamond, the positive diamond that we're making here. And here's the stab knife right in here to enhance the flower effect.
Okay. Now, I do know that sharp tools are essential.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do you like to sharpen your knives?
Well, when I sharpen my knives, what I use is ceramic stones. And these are great for several reasons. They're absolutely hard, that will never dish, and they'll stay flat forever.
Okay.
This is a medium grade one. You would do your shaping and sharpening on this one here, and then the other one, this one is an ultra fine, and this will polish the blade. And you must polish a blade no matter how sharp it is. If the blade isn't polished, and particularly the area right behind the edge, if you do not polish the blade, it will not slide through the wood, no matter how sharp it is. So you got to polish it. So what I do is put the blade flat on here for this one, and I'll raise it just slightly, no more than what you can get a dime under the back side on. And I'll raise it just slightly, and I'll do a little bit on one side here like this. You can see already the polish, the buffing that's coming up on that. I'll turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. And this way, by working both sides, I don't build up a burr on either side.
What angle do you use as your grind angle?
That'll be the same angle. Now that dime is used on the cutting knife here. For the stab knife, it's a 30-degree angle, and that's all written in the book too, by the way. But if you bring this up on the angle that's already sharpened at the factory, then you can see, you can feel that flat.
So just match the grind that's already on the knife.
Exactly.
Well, let's do a little bit more work on this tabletop.
All right. Let me take this piece right here, and we'll bring out the diamond here. So I'm going to cut my inside cuts here first, and this will keep the wood from splitting down when I make my long cut, this one here. My three major woods are butternut, basswood, which is excellent for carving, and white pine. But I will carve some walnut, cypress, tupelo, buckeye, catalpa. These will all work well. But the three major woods I use are butternut, basswood, and white pine. A lot of furniture made in white pine. Now, you see the difference between this one and this one here. In order to make this into a little flower, I'm just going to flip-flop on either side like this. And you'll notice how quickly all of this goes.
And that's because you have a good pattern laid out.
Right. Good pattern, good tools, good sharp tools. Very simple method.
Okay. Well, let's go look at some of your other work that you've done.
This is based on what is called positive imaging. Rather than incising the design into the wood, what this does is carve the background away using chip carving methods and styles, and produces a positive image.
It's limitless. Here's a butter board with another type and style of relief carving.
Right, and as complicated as this looks, Scott, this is done entirely with a ruler and a compass. It draws the whole design.
Beautiful. Wayne, you've been at this for, what, 20, 30 years?
Yeah, right, something like that, right.
And he has a lot of this captured in all these patterns in 3 books by Sterling. And your most recent is New Traditional Styles of Chip Carving by Wayne Barton. And there is a video out, and there's also a school that you teach.
Right, we conduct classes both in Park Ridge, Illinois, and then I teach all over the country too.
And you do the European tour to get back to our traditional roots.
European tour, and we teach over there also.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Wayne, you are truly a master, and thank you for sharing your tips with us.
It has been my pleasure, Scott. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's been fun.
The finishing touch to a project like this is to protect the chip carving. So this is safety glass. You can see this is a simple design, easy to make, but yet the carving adds a whole new dimension to it. And as woodworkers, I think you owe it to yourself to explore the world of chip carving. Easy to do, very enjoyable. Well, thanks for joining us, and hope to see you next time in the American Woodshop.